were in high school when they met, and things got kinda awkward. With sparks in the air, he would stare at her in class, and she would try to act cool. But it was obvious, like, ooh, they would be together, ooh. And one day she said, write me a love song, 'cause I know you'll make it beautiful. And maybe I'll call you my sweetheart, and promise nobody can steal me away. Then I am yours, 'cause I want you, and I wanted you to know. He looked at her and then he smiled, picked up a pen and paper, and started writing. Probably something about her eyes and how they're always shining, or something cliche like, ooh, baby, I only want you. It's true. And then he said, I wrote you a love song, and I tried to make it beautiful. It's a song about your sweet, sweetheart, and how nobody can steal me away. Yeah, I am yours, 'cause I want you, and I wanted you to know. As he sang, she started to dance, grabbed his arm and took his hand. He held her close under the moonlight as they kept on dancing. And now they're singing their love song, and they sing it kind of beautiful, calling each other sweetheart. I promise nobody can get in their way or steal the show. They're in love now, and I wanted you to know.
Who am I to say we tried our best? Who am I to say we kept ignoring all our promises? Who am I to say there's nothing left? Who am I to look down? Who am I to say you won the war, when all I did was fight so hard I forgot what I was fighting for? Who am I to save us breaking down? Who am I to turn around? Maybe someday I'll wait for it. Someday I'll look past all the reasons and wrong turns I took. Someday I'll fight for it better than I fought for you. Who are you to say you changed your mind? You've known it since the winter fell, and you've just been biding your time. I won't ask no questions, I'll back down, 'cause I got time, and I ain't wasting mine. Maybe someday I'll wait for it. Someday I'll look past all the reasons and wrong turns I took. Someday I'll fight for it better than I fought for you, 'cause I fought for you. Tried our best. say we kept ignoring all our promises? Who am I to say there's nothing left? Who am I to look down? Maybe someday I'll wait for it. Someday I'll look past all the reasons and wrong turns I took. Someday I'll fight for it better than I fought for you. Better than I fought for you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hi. Good to see you guys. So if my math is right, we've got 15 viewers on Twitch and 4 viewers on YouTube. Hello, hello. How's the music? Is the music okay? Turn it down just a little bit. What's up, Nath? Hey, Tom. Chief, let's go. That's right. Good to see you guys too. So this weekend I did a keyboard stream. And when you do a keyboard stream, you spend a lot of time on the overhead camera. And the problem with that is that like your chat has to be somewhere that's kind of out of the way. So I had to move some things around, and I didn't realize that I was moving things around on the just chatting screen that you're seeing right now. And so my chat wound up like way over to the left, kind of like almost off screen on this scene. So it is fixed now, I believe. Yeah. Do you guys want to see the new board? Time to continue my new website again before I procrastinate on it more and more. Yeah, exactly. That's literally what I'm doing. Did Elise beat me in the speed test in the end? You know, after I got 82, we just had to move on. You know, I just like, there wasn't time for another test. it was a bummer. It was a real bummer. Hey, Franjo. Michela or Michaela. Hello. Oh man. I'll show you guys the board that I built. All right, yeah, you should be able to see that. Okay. Here it is. Now, I'm using this on a regular basis, but for design streams and stuff, I still need the dedicated arrows, which this keyboard does not have. So this is the RamaWorks M60A Olivia. It's got that beautiful gold backplate. Rose gold. Yeah, this is the nicest sounding keyboard I have ever built. Put that little artisan, I think that's key called. How much does it cost? It depends. So I know that's not like a great answer, but it really does. So the case itself, which is the gray body and the back plate, I think it was $400. But then you need to buy the switches, which are $100 maybe, and then the keycaps, which are usually around 150 or 200. So then all those pieces kind of go in the same thing, and then of course the freaking $30 lube, etc. Yeah, there you go. There's the link. It was a fun build though. It was a hot swap build, so it's like super low pressure. Everything just clicked into place. Didn't have to worry about all the soldering that I did on this board. So yeah, it was fun. Next up is the Canone, which is that white, really angled one that I showed you guys before. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that this weekend. Probably next weekend. Mechanical kind of guy. Yeah, absolutely. Fata, hello. It was a typing test battle. Yeah, I won in the end. I got an extra round in, and then we had to go, so she didn't get to compete anymore. My wife and I did a typing test. It was me versus her. She's faster. Don't tell her that, but she's faster. Jalor, hello. Today we build. We're gonna jump into Webflow. Absolutely. Hey, John Beatty, I see you're in the chat. I have stuff for you. Well, not stuff, but I have an answer to your question. So John wrote in and asked how I make coffee, or what my preferred method is for coffee. So I'm gonna walk you guys through that real quick, and then we'll get into the Webflow stuff. So for me, coffee, I started off drinking your normal, like, Starbucks dark roast, because dark roast is manly, right? Stuff, and I ended up having to put a bunch of cream and sugar in my stuff to make it palatable. And I think it was Matthew and Cena that introduced me to really good coffee. And the first, I guess, foray into good coffee was an effort to break my creamer habit, because I was really concentrated on losing weight, and the sugary creamers that I was using was just like not healthy. And so he suggested I try good coffee that I would actually enjoy the taste of, and so we went on this journey of buying and trying coffees together. And the difference between good coffee and bad coffee is astounding. And I would categorize Starbucks as bad coffee. I've got a couple examples of really good coffee here. Here's Methodical. So this is a local roaster. Beautiful packaging. And this is their Columbia Ventolera Orange Wash. And it has notes of mango, mandarin, orange, and pear. And it is an experimental wash. So, great coffee. This is what I'm drinking today. But I'll show you the difference. Now, like, whenever you drink something from Starbucks, you see the picture of their beans, and they're black and they're really shiny. Let me show you what good coffee beans look like. Can you guys see that? So good coffee beans are brown and they're not shiny. They almost have like a matte finish on it. And if you get shiny coffee beans, it means they've been over roasted, and the oil from the bean is starting to come out. And that just makes the coffee taste ridiculously bitter. And it's just not pleasant to drink black, right? I've not had Death Wish, no. And Chief, you're absolutely right. Like, the smell of good coffee beans is just, it's just something else. So I would recommend starting with good beans, because without the good beans, it doesn't matter what you do, your coffee's gonna taste nasty. My favorite roaster is Boy and the Bear. And so for anybody who's kind of looking to transfer from bad coffee to good coffee, I would recommend starting with one of these two. The Red Honey Mancho is brand new for them. And again, beautiful packaging. This one has notes of blackberry, wine, and then really strong dark chocolate. So if you're used to that, like, super, super bitter roast, this is gonna carry through the bitterness, but in a really pleasing way. It's kind of like having an IPA where they put way too much hops in, and then having a really good IPA where the bitterness complements the rest of the flavors in the coffee. So Red Honey Mancho is a really good one. And the other one that I like right now is Pink Bourbon, and that is another Boy and the Bear. You can order this stuff online, totally not affiliated. It's literally just my favorite coffees. So this one has notes of rose, caramel, and jasmine flowers. And what's cool about this, I've met the founder of this company, and he's from Colombia. All of their coffees are from Colombia, and he has personal relationships with the farmers. So you see on the label, this coffee farmer is Jose Ortiz, which he puts right there on the label. Come on, focus, let's go. Yeah. So, like I said, start with good beans. And coffee that's not bitter is not necessarily acidic. I think that that's a common misconception. I do like acidity, but you can get really, really well roasted coffee that tastes like chocolate. You know, it's just. I myself like the fruitier varieties, but it still tastes like coffee. It's not like they add watermelon to the coffee or anything like that. It's still coffee. So I start with beans. I grind them. I have a I forget what kind of grinder it is, but it's one of the nicer ones. You don't want to have a burr grinder, or excuse me, it's a burr grinder. You don't want to have a blade grinder, the kind of thing that has the blades like spinning around, because that will give you an uneven ground. So I grind the coffee. The ratio that I use is 700 grams of water to 50 grams of coffee, roundabout. And I use a Chemex. So here's my brew this morning. I just emptied the Chemex. I use the paper filters, the square ones. And usually what I'll do is I'll put the ground coffee in. I'll send about 100 grams of water at, I think it was 202 degrees. So I send 100 grams of water through first, and that allows the coffee to bloom. And what that means is the grounds actually expand. And it's really, really kind of cool because you can see in here, there's coffee grounds. The grounds actually grow because when you put the hot water in, it causes something to happen, and then the beans like release some kind of gas. I think it's like a carbon dioxide or something like that. And if you sent all the water through all at once, like most coffee grinders do, the gas kind of envelops the grain of the ground, and then it doesn't let the water touch the ground. And so you get weaker coffee by not allowing the coffee to bloom. So that's, at least that's what I read. So I usually send 100 grams through and then wait until it's done moving. And then I send the rest of the water through in stages, and, you know, pouring in nice circular motions and try and get all the coffee saturated with water. And then that's it. You drink it with no creamer. So John, I hope that helps. Yeah, maybe I'll make a video about that. I did not expect to go on a coffee rant this morning, but there it was. Christian, hello. When you pour it all, it just under extracts the beans. Yeah, but it's something to do with that CO2 process. It literally will like envelop the grain of the ground and not let that the water kind of saturate that. Hey Sean, good morning. Coffee talk is always welcome. Moonraid, it's for you. Cheers. James Hoffman for coffee stuff. Oh, nice. Everything is UX. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, my wife has been doing it for the past couple of months since we moved here. And she's basically stolen my morning ritual. Because the process is really, it's kind of centering. You know, it's almost meditative in a sense where, like, you know, you're using the gooseneck kettle and you're pouring the water in circular motions over the Chemex, and I really enjoy that process, and so does she. Yeah, the process. There's value there. Okay, I'll make a coffee video and see if I can score some free beans off of it. Please be genuine. It's important. Mikhail, all it can be is me. Oh, all right. I'm feeling a little discombobulated this morning. I don't know why. Which is a terrible way to start web development. Yeah. Peter McKinnon's coffee montages. Oh, yeah. They're pretty epic. How's the 75 hard going? Travis, it's hard. We're on day 20 and we're working through it. Got my water. And still have to do 2 workouts today. So, yeah. Oh, all right. Let's see if the Webflow site has been duplicated. Okay. So, I think one of the things that I'm going to struggle with here is I'd like to do this on a duplicate site so that I'd have like all my blog posts that I've already published. But the thing that I'm worried about is that I'm not going to be able to publish it. I guess if I'm not using a subdomain or an actual custom domain, it shouldn't matter, right? Okay. Let's check it out. Okay, cool. All right, so just to give you guys some context on what I'm going to be doing today, I will pull up our XD document and show you give you a quick walkthrough on the design for anybody that's kind of tuning in for the first time. So we're doing 2 versions. Update, there we go. We're doing a light mode and a dark mode. And over the weekend, I made a simple change to the nav bar. But you can see it's a pretty radical change from the current site, which we'll take a look at in a minute. So we're going to be recreating this in Webflow today. Thank you. I appreciate that, Urban. I think we're going to start off with the now page. That's where we've begun for the rest of the project, and we're just going to get this laid out. Now I'm going to be using a technique that I just learned called Wizardry. So this is going to be an interesting learning experience. I'll show you why. Let's go to mrbenburns.com. All right, so this is the current site, and I built this in, I think 2017 or 2018. And I had just learned about viewport units. So I was like, oh my God, that's the key to responsive typography, right? And I'm just like, man, being able to scale typography on a site, depending on what the browser's width is the way. So I don't know if it was early in 2017, 2018. This was super new to me. And I just went all in. Now, the problem with using viewport units, specifically viewport width for type, is that at certain sizes, it can break things. So as you can see, this site looks pretty great. You know, when I'm resizing it normally, even if we go down here to the smaller headings, most of the stuff looks really good. Here's where it breaks. If I go to a really wide layout, the text starts growing and it starts growing and it literally never stops. And so you end up with some really funky things like that. You see what I'm saying? And what I was missing, like the key that I was missing here, is a really simple formula that most professional websites use. And they actually use a calc formula, which means calculated. And that's in their CSS. And what that does is it says there's a maximum and a minimum size for VW type. But the thing is that Webflow doesn't have that functionality. So a couple of months ago, I was browsing YouTube, as I often do, and I came across this video. So for those of you guys who don't know Timothy Ricks, he is a Webflow wizard. This guy, it's a terrible screenshot. Sorry, dude. There, we'll go with that one. All right. So I came across this video, and he basically described the way that he creates truly responsive type. And here's the breakdown. You set your body type to 1 viewport unit, which means 1 VW, which is 1% of the screen width. So at 1920 pixels wide, your body type size is going to be 19.2 pixels. Then you base everything else in the entire project, paddings, margins, widths, heights, text sizes, on EMs. And EMs are a unit that relates to the nearest parent. And so if you have a VW of 1 as the body size, and then a text inside that body that has a text size of 2 EMs, it's going to be 2 times 1, which is 2. So it's kind of like a relationship unit. So by creating, your entire website using EMs, it basically scales with the browser, but at certain widths, you can basically lock the thing in place by simply switching the body unit to a pixel size, and then everything locks. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is the first website that I've built with this technique. So we're just going to follow his tutorial. We're probably not going to watch the video since he has this incredible step-by-step Notion tool here, and a clonable style guide, which is phenomenal. Like I said, this guy's amazing. And yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be working on today. Okay, so I went like super nerdy, super deep there. Let me know if you guys have any questions before I dig in, because once I get into this, it's probably going to be a lot of thinking. And you know, when I start thinking, I stop talking. Hey, good to see you in the chat. Timothy Ricks is a Webflow god. He is. I actually had 2 interviews with him so far, and he's going to be advising on this project, which is, I'm honored. I am honored. Hey, Sean, you still don't have sound? Oh, bummer. Does everybody else have sound? Let me know. Are we working on the new keyboard? No. The new keyboard has no arrow keys, so I'm still using the botanical. Yeah. Okay. Sean, I'm so sorry. Maybe try restarting Twitch. Low-key Shia Dav. So sorry, dude. I'll call you Low. Welcome. I feel like I enter the Matrix when Ben goes on a design rant. Okay. Aiden, why go from XD to Webflow? What's the reason? Well, Webflow is not a design tool. Webflow is a creative development tool, and you'll see why in a second. It's not like you can grab a box here and like move it across the stream, across the artboard with your mouse. You actually have to know where you want to put it first, and then you enter in the positioning using positioning, margins, paddings, things like that. Lucky. Okay, no problem. So you can't really design in Webflow But that's where Adobe XD is great. So they go hand in hand. So you want to start in Adobe XD or Figma and then take the project into Webflow once you're done. You saw the responsive design tool, so now I'm curious. Yep, exactly, Aiden. So you create the design in XD first and then migrate it into Webflow. Yep. Yeah, so this responsive technique, I'm pretty thrilled. He's also got like this calculator here, which, if I can scroll, hold up, there we go, which allows you to calculate your EM size for all of your typography. And what's really neat is that you can actually save this stuff. So we'll go ahead and start doing this right now, so you guys can see the value of this tutorial. It's just insane. All right, so I'm gonna try and split this screen here so we can actually see what's going on. There we go. So here's an example. We've got this font Vultura, and I have this word set to 360 pixels. And my artboard is 1920 pixels wide. So we'll take this and we'll say 360. And we've got an artboard of 1920. So that piece of type will be 18.75 EM. What's awesome about this page is you can literally go, whoops, and label these things and then add the next one, right? So you can build out your entire type system here, and then to copy this, it's a single click. So good, right? After this, does it go to the developer? No. This is all you need. XD and Webflow. Now I say all you need. I think it's important to recognize that some projects are still going to need a developer. Like on this project, I'm going to need a whole bunch of custom code. Like there's noise in the background that I have to create. There's some animations. I'm going to integrate locomotive scroll and all sorts of different stuff that involve custom code that I would not be able to generate by myself. So, all right. So then here's, let's see, let's find our heading 1, and this is 130. This is our heading 2. Yeah. So we're basically just using this tool that Tim built to create all of our font sizes. And you can see it's calculating the EMs for us, which is just, dude's awesome. Keep going. Yeah. Okay, I think we've got heading 3 at 48. And we've got our big heading at 240. So what we'll do, once we've identified and input all of our type sizes here, we'll go ahead and duplicate his style guide. What's he call this? Yeah, style guide here into our project, and then set all that up. All right. Content heading. So that's going to be 160. Spot checking this stuff. Sure that we have everything. Oh, I forgot to show you guys what I did this weekend. So I still had not resolved the light mode and dark mode switch. So I went ahead and did kind of a custom toggle. So you can see that here, where basically you can turn the lights on and off. And I'm gonna have this animate and stuff like that. The stars are gonna fade in on hover. And then when you click it, this will kind of rotate up into the top and become kind of a, where is it? Here it is. A really simple sun kind of thing. I wish I could take credit for the idea. I've seen it online a couple times, but I was like, let me try my own version of this. Yeah, so obviously the rays will show up on hover, etc. Yeah. So yeah, I've got a good resolution to the side nav and the heading right there. Oh, I also tried to tweak the flame part of the logo, and I think I still like this solid outlined one. I was trying to match the variable width or the variable thickness of this typeface. I don't know. Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm pumped about that. That's gonna be really cool. That was after a couple of losses in Warzone. I was frustrated. I was like, I'm just gonna design. It was like 1 a.m. on Saturday night. All right, I think that's all of our type. Let's see. And we've got mobile, but the mobile is probably going to convert to pixels at a specific breakpoint. So caption, body, meta, H1 through 3, content, big and massive. Okay. Okay, so let's crack into the designer here. And basically what I'm going to do is just delete a whole mess of pages. Then we'll clone the style guide right into this project, which we'll need to clone it to the account and then copy and paste it. Should probably keep the privacy policy pages just to have that content. Well, there's no content in there, so we'll delete that. You see, half of these pages are literally me testing things for other clients and projects and stuff like that. I built a website for my friend who owns a hair parlor in Los Angeles, and she wanted to incorporate like square ordering. See, most of the stuff is blank. Delete all that. So just to give you guys a little bit of an orientation into Webflow Designer, I realize there may be a couple of new people in the chat that haven't seen this stuff yet. So your side panel is here, and we'll get into the one on the right in a second. Basically, you can add elements to your page. So this is where you'd add sections or div blocks or typography or images or anything like that. And it's pretty simple. You just take it and drag it onto the page, and it adds it. This window, the navigator, it shows you all of the content on the page in order, which is nice. And then you've got a symbol pane, so you can use symbols on multiple pages, and whatever edits you do on one page shows up on the next. It's great for nav bars and footers and stuff like that. So I think what I'm going to do is add that nav bar there. This is all from the old stuff, the old site, so we're just deleting it. And this is a duplicate website here. Okay, so I can't delete that because it's used on something. Let's see. It's used on the home page. All right, so we'll go ahead and create a new page. And delete the old one, or not. What am I missing? Make this home page, delete the old one. Okay, so back to the symbols. Again, just scrubbing all of this stuff. Now, when you start a new install, you won't have to do this. Obviously, there's nothing in here because it's new. But the reason why I wanted to clone this and kind of reboot is this right here. So this pane is your CMS. And your CMS is populated with a whole bunch of stuff. For me, I've got blog posts. Oh, I've only got 4 in here anyways, but you know, I might as well just have these, right? So I've got blog post here that I didn't want to have to copy and paste all over again. But these CMS are basically databases that you can use to populate pages. So like I said, the reason why I cloned this site to begin with is simply because I didn't want to lose any of the CMS stuff. Right. So that's all the symbols. Here's the navigator. These are pages, right? So you've got static pages, which is like home and my story and now. And then you've got CMS collection pages. And this is really the power of Webflow. So if you can think of, if you're familiar with developing in WordPress, you've got your posts, and then sometimes you've got custom post types. And each one of those custom post types has its own page template. And that's what these CMS collection pages are. And so if you go to your blog post template, when you design this page, every single blog post will follow this template. And on the front end, you can basically just fill out a couple forms and it populates the page. The beauty of this is that you can develop page templates visually that the CMS uses, whereas in WordPress, you kind of have to use code and develop the page like a developer would, and then look at it in the front end of WordPress to see if you did things right. So that's the biggest power of Webflow that I've come to love, honestly. I'm out of coffee. That's not good. But you know what time it is? Seltzer of the day. So today we have Spindrift sparkling water, a gift from my good friend John Beatty, and I'm going with blackberry today. Oh, this is actually purple. Oh, that's good. The interesting thing about this seltzer is it's actually got real fruit in it. And it tastes like real fruit. It tastes like lemon and blackberry. Oh, it's so good. The stream seltzers are kind of a treat for me now because with 75 hard, you have to drink literally a gallon of water a day. And so I'm not able to mass consume seltzers right now. All right, so let's see. We don't need e-commerce on this site, so we're not going to worry about that. Pages are all cleaned up. Let's check these CMS page templates here. Okay, perfect. And then as far as CMS goes, I'll definitely have a menu items collection. I'll probably just need to reboot this because none of these are going to be applicable to the new thing. So let's see. Can you delete an entire collection? What am I missing? I don't think I've ever done this. Oh, it's right here. Delete collection. You need to delete this collection's items before you can delete the collection itself. Okay. Yeah, I've literally never had to delete an entire collection. I've always just kind of redone them. Well, that's tedious. You have to select the collection. I guess it's good, but what if you like duplicated an entire collection? What if you had like 10,000 blog posts and you wanted to delete that because you have it, you know, duplicated somewhere else? That would be terrible. Okay, on the CMS collections menu, you have an option to select. Create new. I might be dumb. I don't see it. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Oh, Javin? Javen Towers? Oh, I can't even imagine. Jesus. They're promising a lot of improvements to the collections system, both on a performance and on a feature set. So I'm curious to see what's next. All right, and then we got a bunch of images here, and let's see. We probably won't need this guy. That's not even me. Whoops. And delete this. And I will just keep all that in there. You can always delete it later. But this is your assets folder here. Has all your images and lotties and movies and stuff like that. You can upload them to the library. It's kind of like your media library on WordPress. Or you can just upload them directly to the page and add some here. One thing to note, something that I see all the time on Webflow sites that we're actively fixing on the Futures site is when you add an image to the assets, it doesn't automatically create all the, responsive imagery. It creates responsive imagery that makes your page load faster when you add it as an image onto the page. So when Webflow adds an image onto the artboard, so let's say we take this handsome guy and add it. What they've done automatically, kind of behind the scenes, is they've created a whole bunch of different versions of this image that's going to load differently depending on what screen size you're using. So on mobile, it's going to load a smaller image, and on desktop, it's going to load the larger image, which saves time and all this kind of stuff. But the thing that it doesn't do is that feature doesn't exist for background images. So when you're adding background images to divs, if you add a large image like this 388 kilobytes, you can see it's got an exclamation point right there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Nope, I can't. There we go. Got a little exclamation point on there because that's a heavy image. So when you're adding those as a background image, it doesn't automatically do that. I forget what that feature is called, but that's something to be aware of. And we've got tons of background images on the future site that we're actively having to resize. So just something to be aware of. Okay. I think we've got everything cleaned out. So we'll go ahead and start this process of wizardry. So first we'll clone this. All right, so you can see he's got all of the text that you'll ever need on this page, and it's up to us to start styling it. And we're also gonna have to import our typefaces too. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this on a page. And we'll pull the section in as well. Also, we should definitely clean up some classes. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So you can see it's got the styling from my previous website built in. So we've got Hercules here. So what I'm going to do is delete these guys and then scrub the rest of the styling there and see if that helps. It didn't. It's all right. We can fix it. I'm missing some HTML, I think. Here, let's check it out. Nope. Okay, good. All right, so first we need to bring in the typefaces. So let's go to project settings. Why not just update them? I think that's what we're gonna have to do because I think it's looking at the default settings for all H1s, H2s, etc. But also, I really want to start clean on all of my classes and stuff because it's a totally different website. Okay, fonts. Which probably means I need to find these fonts. Here's Vultura. There we go. Okay. Wow, I had way too many fonts here. I'm just gonna delete all these. I also, when I built this, I was not familiar with naming conventions for CSS classes, etc. So, all right, regular. All right, you guys who know what you're doing, I'm honestly asking this, by the way. What do you preferred, OpenType or TrueType for font files? Using normal images as background, using absolute full, and then setting the fit to cover. Yeah. OpenType? Okay. All right, we'll use OpenType. Okay. So we've got Vultura in there. And then we need Stelvio. Okay, let's see. AA's being harsh. I like Figma. I'm just not that familiar with it. Okay. Let's see. Fallback. Go. No. Georgia. Okay, so let's see. We need regular. Can you do multiple at once? Oh, here we go. Light italic, need italic, bold, and I think that's it. I don't think we're using extra bold anywhere, but we are using light italic and regular italics. We'll pull those in. Okay. Italic, great. All right. All of our typefaces are installed. So we'll get back in the designer. Okay. So can you guys see the, yeah, you can see the Wizardry thing. I'm literally going to follow this step by step. So we'll do body. all pages and reset all of this. Do 1 VW. There we go. Okay. So now all of these headings are going to be reset, or all the type here is going to be reset with EMs based on our board here. Okay, so we'll go through all of the H1s, H2s, and stuff like that and style those to default. And then we'll add our special headings like our massive header, big header, etc. We'll add those as classes. So, all right. This would be H1. You can see right there, we've got 130 pixels, and then the size in EMs is 6.77. Do this. Oh, all H1 headings. And then this is going to be Stelvio. Where are you? Oh, you know what I did? I didn't name the typeface. Hold up. All right, so what I did was added them all as separate font files. And I think what we need to do is do Stelvio. Name them all the same thing. Go. Jump back in the designer, see if that makes a difference. Ah, yeah, that worked. Okay, so you can see here's Stelvio, and then we can check our XD doc, see what weight it is. So that's going to be light. Okay. Ah, that font size is, or that type is just beautiful. It's Stelvio grotesque. All right, so we need to get our line height. Line spacing is 120, so 130. Okay, so 0.92, we'll enter that in here. Oops. There it is. So one thing you see I'm doing up here, and that I made a mistake here, is I clicked on this element, this heading, and I started styling it, right? I set it to Stelvio and I set it to light. And what that did, if I go over here to my class or style manager, all of my classes, it created this heading class automatically. And that's not what we want. We want all of our H1s site-wide to look the same. And so to do that, instead of styling something and having it add a new class, what you're going to want to do is you want to come up here and select all H2 headings. And then you're styling it site-wide anytime you have an H2 piece of copy. So super granular, but it'll save you a lot of headache because the difference between dragging an H2 onto the artboard versus having to add classes all the time is a big deal. Right, so then we got heading 2. That's going to be 4.69 EMs. Set that to Stelvio. And check it in our document. So we've got light and line spacing of 96. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating the line height based on, I think that they're like unnamed units. So it's based on the relationship. This is going to be a percentage of the font size. So the line height is going to scale with the type size. Chief, we'll see you in a second. Hey, Matt. Are you using the Wizardry method to size the type or its container? To size the type. So like I said, I'm following this tutorial. So set all over font sizes using EM and set line heights to unitless. Measurements, units? Unit list units. All right. Heading 3. And that's 2.5 EMs. Oh, you see what I just did there? Okay. You see all these labels here are orange, which means that they're already set and they're inheriting something. And it's because up here, I did not select site-wide, right? So if I hit enter, it's going to create that heading 2 class that I don't want. So I'll go ahead and undo that and start editing all H3 headings. Oops. This guy. So we can always go and clean up our styles. All right, size and Stelvio. Then we pull the line height. This is super tedious. Is this interesting, guys? Let me know. 4852. If it's boring, you can totally bail. It will get exciting probably the next time I stream. But basically you want to set all of these classes up so that you're not having to fuss with it later. You can just drag it, class it, and be done. Okay, so those are our main headings. Oh, hold up. Gotta make sure that the weight is correct on this one. All right, so we've got... Oh my gosh, I've been looking at the wrong thing. So we've got heading 3, and that's set to medium. I just realized that we'll probably have to convert our letter spacing to EMs as well. -0.1 maybe? Too close. There we go. So the problem there that I just encountered was that our letter spacing, we want to tighten it up just a little bit. And it defaults to pixels. The pixels are not going to scale. So at small sizes, you'll see the letters get super tight. Some might even overlap, but then at large sizes, you won't be able to tell that we tighten it up at all. So we have to use EMs for that as well. That relationship unit. Okay, it looks like heading 2 is regular, must be. Yeah. Regular and -20. I'm gonna do that all day. It's too far. There we go. All right, so we've got our first 3 headers finished. Now we can start building our, actually probably just change this. Nope. Best way to show this. Now for things like massive header or like special headings that may not necessarily be an H1 or an H2, you're gonna want to create a class. So we'll just do massive header. Now I'm not using camel case and I'm not using anything but hyphens, and there's a reason for that. If we pull in custom code and we have different capital letters or mixed case, I should say, like you using camel case, you'll have difficulties pulling in custom code because Webflow, I think what they do is they uncapitalize everything when they're putting your classes in the final code. So camel case doesn't work, but this does. There's different naming conventions. I think that this is super simple and clean. Okay, so let's do this. We've got our size, which is going to be 360, which translates to 18.75 EMs. It's going to be Vultura. And line spacing is going to be 1 because it's equal to the font size. And then we need probably that negative 0.03 EM letter spacing. There it is. Hey, Raidus, good to see you. Cheller says, I'm good to see that I'm not the only one that dreads TDM. Sorry, had to go grammar Nazi. Had to do it, dude. Let's see, our big header is 12.5 EMs. Got Stelvio. Normal. And line height of 1. Great. And finally, we've got content heading. So we'll duplicate extra style item. Class this. Just need to pull the line height, which is actually a little bit larger. So we'll calculate that using the handy calculator. Okay. Oh, we're missing our meta and our caption. So we need to do paragraph, meta, and caption. I believe this was bold and spacing is 270. All right. This is going to be interesting to kind of match up. We're going to have to eyeball this. So we're going for that text right there. Oops. Do I have a Webflow referral link? I don't think I do. Matter of fact, if you want to put yours in here, go for it. Okay, and then we've got caption, which is 18. So we'll do 0.94 EM. You guys, if you want to... That's not right. If you want to try Webflow. Oh, you don't have one either? If you want to try Webflow, go try it. Oops, I just edited the meta text. So we'll go back on that, remove class, and then add caption. Let's see, 18 point, increase the line spacing by 20. Okay, and the character spacing by 30. Okay. going to have a line height of 1. Is that really regular? Yeah, I guess so. All right. Moving on to paragraph. So we have 34-point line spacing, no character spacing. So we'll pull the size. Okay, and then no character spacing. So that's it. Stelvio. Normal, I believe. Yep. Okay, cool. Now, sometimes you see it and it just doesn't look right on screen. And one thing that I'm noticing is that it's too tight. Hold on. Oh, that's why. There we go. So I noticed that the line height was way too tight. Okay. Select all paragraphs. There we go. Better. Mo better. Hugo, thanks a bunch, man. See you later. Okay. I think we're pretty squared away here. So let's test this out. All right. We will continue this tutorial, but it's interesting to see the font sizes scaling down as we're scaling our browser width in and out. So at a certain point, this paragraph text, these meta text, this caption size is going to be too small to read. So we got to figure that out as well. Okay. Cool. And then obviously this H massive and some of the larger headers will get too wide at certain points. So I'm sure we'll address that in the next steps of the tutorial. How you guys doing? Hey, Jake. So for anybody who's tuning in just now, we are putting together our typography style guide, and we're using Timothy Rick's Wizardry method, which is new for me. We'll also have to pull in our colors too after we're done with this tutorial, because this is the old color scheme. All right, let's keep going. All right, so set body, all pages, font size to 1 VW, check. Set all over font sizes using EM and set line heights to unitless, check. Add in a section with no padding. Okay, I think this is it, right? Check. Add in a container inside. Set padding using EM. All right, so we've got that here. All right. I don't necessarily like his padding, but we'll keep it. All right, so we got the container at max width. So we've got a width of 1440 pixels. I think I'm actually going to switch this. I'm going to go 100% width, but a max width of 1920 pixels. Okay. Add a CSS media query to change the body font size to pixels at the container's max width. Do we have that somewhere? Container max width 1920. So here's the little piece of code. We'll add this to global inside of our custom code here. Bam, done. Save and close. And then size all other elements using EM. 1 EM equals 1 VW. All right, so let's see if this works. If it works, we should lock the browser width at 1920, and it converts everything to pixels. So here we go. We're at 1800. Here's 1920, and it stops. Right? So before, that H massive was actually expanding past as we grew, but right there, we've actually stopped the text from expanding at 1920, and that locks in place. Now, I know for many of you who are tuning in that are new to Webflow, maybe new to web design, this may not seem like a big deal, but it's a big deal. It's like a huge deal, right? With a simple line of code, we're converting things to pixels at a certain width. That's massive. Now, I may change that width at a later date, depending on how the site looks on wider screens, but I highly doubt that there's anybody that's going to be looking at this website at full width on a 38-inch monitor, 34-inch monitor. Like, it's, I just don't think it's going to happen. And if it does, they can deal. Like let's see, yeah, that's so cool, dude. Wow. All right, so something that that he demonstrated in the video that I want to try, right, is when you have an element. Oh, hey, Sam. My brother is in the chat. Samuel Lee Burns. What's up? If you're going bigger, you're either using a TV or just yeah, exactly. Okay. Something that Tim tried in his tutorial is having an element on screen that scales in proportion to itself. So it maintains its own aspect ratio. So like, let's say we had a square, right? And we wanted to maintain that aspect ratio as the screen size increased. It's possible using EMs now, right? Because EMs relates to the sizing of the parent container. And so since the parent container, the body, is set to VW, you can basically size a box according to EMs. So I just want to experiment with that real quick. So we'll pull in a div block here. We'll put it like right under our massive container. And we'll style it test. Okay, so I'm gonna set the width to, oh, I don't know, let's do 50 EM. Okay, and the height to 50 EM. Whoop. And then I'll change the background color to this pink here. So here we've got a square. Now again, for those of you in the responsive world, if you styled this normally, according to pixels or something like that, and then styled the width to match the width of the browser, you get all sorts of funkiness, right? And creating a perfect square out of a div in the past has been kind of weird. Like you have to use a weird padding situation, right? So if we take this and we start scaling, you can see that the square scales with the screen and then locks in place at a certain width. This is huge, y'all. Huge. And basically all we did was we said, we're going to set the size to 50 EMs, which at this browser width is basically 50% of the screen, and the height at 50. So it maintains that aspect ratio regardless of the screen size. It's massive. Very cool. Tim, you are truly a Webflow god. Cheers, sir. Rochelle, you use your, oh my god, you use your full-size 34-inch to piss off your devs and report bugs. That's a nightmare, A. A nightmare. All right. So, now that we have our type kind of squared away, I think we should pull in our colors. So the way that I like to do that on a style guide is simply, now this is all rich text, we'll style that at a later date. The way that I like to do colors is just pull in some divs. So we'll put another, let's see, right under style item maybe. Okay. Let's see what we have for our colors. We'll go back over here to our XD doc. So we'll do black. Actually, we'll make combo classes here. Color, square, size this. Kind of have a reasonable size there, and then can duplicate this. Start making combo classes. So we'll do black, and we'll start copying our hex codes. So what I want to do is add, oops, our hex codes here. Okay. And then anybody know how to delete this? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to edit this black here. Okay. Matter of fact, I don't think you can edit swatch colors, can you? Unlink from swatch. Edit swatch. There it is. Okay. So we'll do an edit here. We'll add the hex code here and save it. That should do it. That's 202. Yep. Okay. So we set the background color of this square, and then we'll also set the typography color of that square. Okay. So we've got white. That's going to be our desaturated. Actually, what is this? F8. Okay. And then we've got two different grays. We've got a kind of a true gray and a desaturated gray. So we'll do gray. And I'm saving these as swatches so we can just literally just pull them right up, instead of having to type in our hex codes every single time. We've got a gray green. And we've got this wonderful orange color. So the keyboard I built on Sunday was a different layout that I'm used to. It was a happy hacking keyboard layout. And it has 100% screwed up the way that I type. Like they put the delete key, or the backspace key, excuse me, where the backslash goes on a normal keyboard. And I have been fighting that. And it's just been awesome. Okay, so I think we've run out of white. Trash that. This pink. There we go. Then we've got this hunter green, which I don't believe that we've used extensively in here, so I may end up deleting it, but I'll add the swatch just in case. And then the light green. I love how Webflow tries to name your colors based on their values. Like they called this beige. Normally they're pretty spot on, but that was kind of funny. Oops. Little OCD organizing there. There we go. Nice. Hey JT, thanks for stopping by. AA is off streaming. If you're interested in Figma, pop over to his stream because he is doing some cool stuff recently in Figma. Okay. All right, so there's our colors. It's not oh, we should definitely set this in EMs, right? Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right. Now, the last thing that we want to do with our type is to set a minimum width so that the type doesn't get too small. So if you notice, like right around here, somewhere around 1160, the caption is ridiculously small. The paragraph is ridiculously small. So we want to set that to a specific pixel as it gets to that point. So I'm thinking that let's start with the paragraph here. Maybe somewhere around 1150. This is where I kind of want to lock it. Maybe even 1180. Yeah. And lucky for us, old Tim Ricks has a calculator for that too. All right, so our screen width is 1180. And our font size is 1.46 EM. And our class name is just going to be P. So it's all paragraphs. So we'll take this, we'll copy it, and we'll put it in our global HTML. Now what this should do is it should lock the P, the paragraph font size, at 17 pixels. So if we expand it, it'll expand in size, right? But then if we go past that 1180 mark, it doesn't work. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate that. Chat's kind of quiet today, so that always bugs me out. Oh, you know what I did? Was it, let's see. Four 6 EM. Oh, I had a max width set there. Okay. So let's see if this works now. So it's scaling that type down, right? And then when we hit 1180, it should lock the font size and the text should start wrapping. Go 1200. Nope, it's not working. That's really strange. Thank you. Okay. Do I have a link to all these websites? Just all you need to do is search Tim Ricks Wizardry. So at 1180 we should start to wrap. Maybe I did not enter it in my HTML correctly. Devs in the chat, what do you think? Oh, actually, it's probably just P. There's no period. There we go. That was it. All right. Redo. So we've got scaling type all through here. And then we hit 1180 and it locks the size and starts wrapping. Cool. Oh, right there. M-binning, you have to erase the period in front of the P. Exactly. That was a dumb error on my part. So there it is. Okay. So the next one is caption, right? So we want this caption at 1180 to kind of lock in place. And even at 1180, it's pretty small. Maybe we can make this medium just to give it a little bit more legibility. Let's see what size this is. So we've got 0.94 EM. Go over to our calculator. Okay, so that drops it down to literally 11 point, and that's not okay. So maybe we need to adjust that at, let's say, say 1280. Okay, so it's 12 point font. Let's see, what is this? Normally it's 18. Yeah, we'll probably need to do that. At 1440, drops it down to somewhere around 13 and a half. Which is still going to be legible, so we'll do this. Add that. There. Okay, so we've got scales in proportion, and at 1400 or 1440 it should lock. And it does. Great. I don't think that we'll ever use caption right next to paragraph, so we won't need to like clarify any hierarchy there. Oh, Charlie's streaming too? Oh man. Okay, we'll have to do a raid. Guys, if you haven't checked out Charlie Marie, highly recommend. She's awesome. If you go anywhere from here, head to Charlie's channel. All right, so I think we're gonna do the same thing here. We'll need to do our meta, and that's 0.83. And I think we'll probably have the same breakpoint. So 0.83 and meta. So 12 is okay in this case, just because like it is all caps and there's, you know, it's got increased tracking. So it should be legible even at small sizes like that. It's also not always like required reading. That makes sense. So nice. There it is. usually go for pixel size with fonts because you find it easier to do a media query instead of mess around with EMs. I totally agree, but then you miss out on this kind of thing where the fonts scale. And I know it's a small thing, but being able to scale layouts in proportion is huge for me. Because how many times have you set something and at a weird width, the type just kind of like the wrapping is terrible and it pushes something else on the page down? This is what prevents that stuff. Tarok, hello. The stream is going well. True Grit, hello. Oh, Khalil. Hey, how's it going? Alvin Burns Red. Great name. Great name. No. Yeah, I think it's worth the work, Tom. But again, you know, I've done probably 100 sites with pixels and media queries, so you know, it is what it is. All right, let's see. I don't think we've styled text link yet, so we'll go ahead and do this. Go Stelvio, normal. I'm going to remove the size and probably just set it the same as paragraph. Devs in the chat, if I'm going to set the sizing of all links to stay the same as as a paragraph, just add the word A or the letter A in front of my size thing, right? Just keep that black. Oops. And the one thing I didn't like about this Stelvio is the relationship of the baseline with the underline. So if you look at the underline, it's super tight there. So I'm gonna kind of wrap everything in a span and do a manual underline. So we'll go hover, and we'll just kill this and get rid of that. Just keep it super simple for now. Matter of fact, we could probably change the color. So we'll change the color to red. Ooh, fail. That's okay. We'll adjust that later. Here we go. So P, comma, A. Yeah. That's what I thought. Like that? Yeah. There we go. Vato, I am not using the keyboard that I built the other day. I'll show you. I'm using the Botanical simply because it's got arrow keys, and I absolutely need these for design. I have been using the Olivia for day-to-day stuff like productivity, typing, that kind of thing. And the getting used to the happy hacking keyboard has been tough. All right, so we'll probably style this rich text element in a second, but I'm happy with progress here. So we've got all of our type locking at different sizes. We've got our EM system in place. And yeah, pumped. We could probably start laying out the now page after we figure out that rich text. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bio break. So I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. If you do go somewhere, head over to Charlie's channel. All right, be right back. The water bottle got a new sticker. We've got the Kinda Keyboards logo here. Kinda Keyboard that I have next. I'm so pumped about this. I literally cannot stop showing this off. The next build stream that we do is going to be this beauty. Oh, thanks, Khalil. Appreciate that. Nice and chill, you know? Look at those. Look at that angle. So this is made by Kinda Keyboards. I think they're in Belgium. Notice no screws. It's magnetic. Stoked about that one. That project involves soldering, so we're gonna make sure I carve out some time. Yeah, the last stream, man, that we got a raid by a guy named Alex, and it was just a mega raid. So if you came from Alex's channel, welcome. Glad you're joining the design side of this channel. But I was just floored by the raid. That was the largest raid to date. From another world. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to shoot B-roll of this stuff. Like, I gotta clean up my desk and dust and stuff, but like, that's gonna be a really fun B-roll shoot. Doing keyboards. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna style this rich text. We need to set all of the color for our light version of the design. That's where we're gonna start. And then get into the now page. I'm pumped. So let's dig in. If you're watching on YouTube, I see that there's 14 people over there. Hello? Please, talk to me. Let's chat. Throw some stuff in the chat. Because the reason why I'm multi-streaming is to have these videos saved on my YouTube channel. If anybody misses a stream or wants to go back and watch something, it's there. But I love the Twitch community because you guys are so active. And YouTube, where are you at? Where are you at, YouTube? Next one, we're gonna have 50,000. We'll see. I think I'm actually gonna start dual streaming on the Academy channel, which is gonna be pretty fun. Let's do this. All heading selector, or all H5 headings. So I'm just gonna move all of this. I actually don't think I'm gonna use H5s ever. Whoops. So I'll just delete it. Why can't I delete it? Alright, so we'll do H2. Actually, we'll do H3. How about that? H3. We could actually duplicate the meta settings for our 4, 5, and 6. That might actually be the way to go there. So let's go ahead and let's actually do that. Sorry to bring in more typography tweaking. I just don't want to do it later, you know? There we go. Okay. So let's see, 0.83 EMs. Matter of fact, I can just head up here and copy that there. I honestly rarely use headings 4, 5, and 6, but when I do, I kind of want them to look like this. So that's just a 1. Oops. Wi-Fi, thanks. Appreciate that. I'm glad that you're enjoying the vibes. Okay, so that's Stelvio Bold. I think that's the end of the list. Oh, okay, never mind. And then we need to add some spacing, which I remember being, 0.4 EM. Whoops. Khalil, thanks for joining. Always good to see you. Okay, so now when we go down here, we've got that all taken care of. And what's interesting is you see that the longer headings are more difficult to read because the letter spacing or tracking is so high. We can just turn that down just a little bit, right? Go from 0.4 to 0.3, and now it looks a little bit more reasonable. We'll probably want to add margins and stuff to these, but I don't like to do that on the style guide until I get the text into an actual layout. Okay, so we've got, need to do coloring. Okay. You see that makes a big difference there. Although I wonder if these should just inherit the body color. Let's try that. So do body, all pages. We'll go with this. There we go. And maybe we can scrub these. So that way when we change it from light mode to dark mode, we don't have to change each individual heading. And you can see now that we're down here where we didn't make those changes, because this label is orange, it's inheriting the property from the body, where before it was set to transparent, which means it was just leaning on the parent container. But now that we've set the body type color, it's actually inheriting that. There we go. So we'll definitely need to add some margins here. We'll do this EM style. Whoa. Let's see, what was the body size here? Got a border, yeah, border on this. I don't know how often I'm going to be using those block quotes, but there it is. Okay. Hey devs, what's the default? Is there a default class of these block quotes in CSS? Because I'm gonna have to add that minimum width at some point. Same thing with the H5s or H4 through 6. So let's do that real quick. So meta. There we go. Yeah, default, like, is there a default tag? I'm not sure the way to phrase this or the words to use here, but basically I'm styling all block quotes here. I'm setting the size to M's or to EMs, and when I go to my HTML, I want to add the block quotes here so that the font size locks, but I'm not sure what to call it. Van Talen, do you know? If not, I'm gonna have to class it, and I really don't want to do that. Let me know. All right. Selectors, yeah, thanks. So right now, this is a Webflow is considering this a selector, just like a H2 or an H1. And I'm not sure how to call that selector in my CSS. It's for a block quote. It's empty. Just block quotes, yep. Because it's not going to inherit the text size from like paragraph. It's inheriting it from the body. Okay. Let me think if we're missing anything from our design system or style guide here. I don't think we are. Okay, so it's just block quote less the block. Oh, okay, block quote. All right, let's do that real quick. Yep, that worked. Perfect. That's great. All right, so we have an interesting thing here. So we've got block quote. And if we go to check this, all of the padding and margin and all this kind of stuff is set in pixels, which is not scaling with our system here, right? You can see the distance between the line and the text at this size is a lot greater in proportion to this size. So we want to change all that to EMs. So this will probably be somewhere around 2 EMs because it's 2 VWs. So we'll go to EM, maybe like 1 EM. There we go. We can also, I think we can set the line, the border width in EMs too. But what's handy that Tim did is he actually put a guide to what units to use for each individual thing here. So we've got, let's see, line width maybe? I don't see it. Small borders is pixels. Okay, cool. So that's right. But if we wanted to be crazy, we could probably set this to an EM too. So let's do, I don't know, 0.4 EM. Yeah. Interesting. So we play with our width here. Should scale down. There we go. Select a tag field in the styles panel. Select all block quotes and style away. Yeah, I got that. What I was trying to do though is add our minimum width so that the block quote stops scaling down at some point. So I just added it here, and this is the term that I was missing. The selector. Yeah, so I didn't know what this selector was, but it's just block quote. Super simple. All right. I think we can go about building our now page. Let's pull this in here. use the dark mode as a reference. All right, so we've got a couple of static elements that need to stay fixed. Now I'm planning on using locomotive scroll. So the elements that are on the side here are going to live outside of the main locomotive scroll container. So this needs to be its own separate div completely. This nav bar here. The rest of this should scroll. So the way that this needs to work with Wizardry, normally I would, create, not normally, but a way to do it is to create like a spacer div, and then have your container start here. But I think what I'm going to do is have the container be 100% of the width inside that section, and then add padding on either side in EMs. So that way it scales down with the browser. And then inside this, we'll have another container that contains our columns. So for example, let's see, this piece here. Let's do this. There we go. You can see I've got a 5-column layout, and this entire thing is going to be wrapped in a div. So we'll add a rectangle just to represent. Like, say this went all the way up to the top of the page and all the way down to the bottom of the page. And this is our content container here inside the page container. So this is, I'll switch the fill off. So inside this content container, we're going to have our column containers. So let's say we got a little section in here for the text, and then inside this div, I'll add column sized containers. So there will be a 1 column and a 3 column, and then we'll probably call it a day. But if I had content in this last column, I would create a 1 column here. So this block, right, that contains all of our columns is going to be set to flex, and everything will be kind of inside here. And then our columns will contain the copy, and that'll all be left aligned and stuff. And what's great is on mobile, when we go to make this responsive, you can basically take these columns here and just say, instead of flex horizontal, do flex vertical, and then you stack them. And obviously this won't be that long. So that's the way I'm going to build it. I think that's it. So what it requires is kind of a large section div, a container with padding, a container that contains the columns, and then the individual column containers which set the width. I think that's right. Maxident, what is the meaning of life? I don't know, man. Still trying to figure that out. What do you think? I am busy, but Maxident, I always have time for you. All right. So let's get to work. I think I'm going to pull this off to the side. You guys might not be able to see this at all times, but I'm going to be referencing that from time to time. Holy smokes, it's already 1:14. Yeah, 42. What is that from? I know it's like a... It's not a meme, but it's like this. It's from a... Is it Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? What movie is that from? Okay, so we'll do this now. Create. And then I believe Tim had his HTML in a symbol. So I'll go ahead and create a symbol out of that. And this is the beauty of symbols. You can grab this and throw it on the page and you're good to go. And then if you ever want to edit it, whoops, all of your HTML is right here, ready to roll. And the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of adding the page, like the custom code in the page level, is because when you add it as an HTML document to the page, you're able to see the changes that the HTML is making in the designer. Otherwise, I would have to publish the page and then view it on the live side in order to see the changes that we're making. All right, so I think we'll go style our body to have a light background. Start adding our sections. So we'll call this section. And container. Call this page. Oh, we'll call it container. Okay, so you can see that it's inheriting all of Tim Rick's padding and margins and stuff like that. So we've got margin auto, which is centered on the page. And this is something that we're actually going to change. So we'll do, let's see, what is the width of the screen? Hey, John Pantone, what's up? So we're at 2340. Probably go down to 1920. Okay. Community, John says hello. Pixel to EM converter. So we'll go say this is paddings, etc. Say 240. It's 12.5 EMs. So our padding will be 12.5 EMs. And then we have 60 pixels as our padding on the outside. Calculate that real quick. Okay, so now we've got our page section, our page container, and now we need to add our content container. And you can see it's inheriting it's fitting within the padding that we're setting in its wrapper here. And I think that this will be our first section. So we'll set that there. And then this is going to be flex for now. And we'll just leave that all default. All right. Okay. And then let's add column. Now the first thing that we're going to do is just position this now here. So if we look at the number of columns that we're using, it's right around 3, but I'm going to just go ahead and say this is a 5-column section here, container here. Whoops. Now the way I like to do this is I like to set widths by percentages, 100%. So that's going to take 100% of the content space. And then the padding, because each column has a gutter of, let's check this in XD real quick. It's 20. Yeah, it's 20. So that means each column needs a padding on either side of 10 pixels at 1920. So we need to convert that. And that's 1.4 EM. So we'll add this here, and then add our padding of 1.4 EMs to either side. All right. So what we can do is we can go ahead and add all of the rest of our column specific divs. So one column would be 20% and would have the same padding, 1.04 EM on either side. And I know you guys can't see what's going on here, and I will make sense of this in a second. So a 2 column is going to be 40%. Because it's 5, you know, it's 2 out of 5 columns. Padding is the same. Three column is 60. Finally, 4 column. At 80% width. Then as far as the wrapper is concerned, we're going to, let's see, we're not going to want to wrap. And then each one of these individual things, you don't want it to shrink or grow in accordance to the fit. All right, so let me show you exactly what this is doing. I'll go ahead and add a height to this temporarily. So we'll do 500 pixels or whatever. So here's our content container, right? And let's say we've got our 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, 4 column, 5 column, etc. Let's say we had our meta example, right? This. So we've got meta text on this side, and then we've got paragraph copy on this side. What we can do is we can actually remove all this kind of stuff here and just stick with a 1 column and a 3 column. And then obviously if we did have content on the other side, we'd have that there. So if I were to add an image here, we'll just add this Kalamazoo thing there. And then another image, this column. You can see that, and then we'll just go ahead and make these backgrounds a little bit different so you can see the columns are set to the percentage width of the parent, so that way you're maintaining that column size regardless of width, right? So it scales down to fill or shrinks in accordance with the parent size, and that's the beauty of multi-column text. All right, so let's reset this stuff. Get those out of there. And now that we've got all those classes built, it's going to be really easy for us to lay out the site. we're going to put a heading in here. It's going to be an H1, and then we're also going to style it in accordance with our massive header. And we'll go now. Okay, so on the H1, we have a max width here, which I need to remove. There we go. So all the prep work that we've been doing to this point has allowed me to drag a single item of text onto the screen and then class it, and then that's it. That's all we need to do. We don't have to set the font or the size or anything like that for this. So we've saved, what, 5 minutes here? Times that by, multiply that by all the text that goes on this page, and it's a significant savings. So that's why I like to do all that prep work. Totally worth it. Okay. All right, so it is 1:27. I hate to stop it here, but I got to get to work. So I'm gonna go over to just chatting. All right, so what'd you guys think? I know this was a little tedious today. Thanks for sticking around. You getting value out of this? Is this good? Do you like to, I know it's tough to see, it's tough to watch unless you're seeing dramatic transformations, but you know, the prep work, this kind of stuff is so valuable. It's what I was missing when I started using Webflow. So I definitely wanted to share this with all of you. So how you doing? Crickets in the chat. I'm disappointed. I'm just kidding. You guys are probably doing bigger and better things. Matt says awesome. Good. All right, so I'm gonna keep cranking on this, probably off hours. I may stream pretty early in the morning, but the goal is to have the Now page completely done by the next stream, which is gonna be on Thursday, and then we can start going page to page to page. Usually, once we get to this point, like all the prep work kind of pays off, and we can really fly through the page design and layout, and then we get to the fun stuff, which I'm gonna lose more hair, like going from light mode to dark mode, or the page transitions, or you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, nice to see the reality of what it takes to set up a beautiful website. Absolutely. Like, this stuff doesn't just happen, right? And we know this, but a lot of times you go and you see the time lapse, which eventually this content is going to be a time lapse. So you see that, and it happens so quickly that you know, you don't see all the thought and the process that goes into this stuff. So I'm glad you guys like it. Thanks for sticking around. All right, so who's online? Do we still have Charlie on? Oh, we do. We gotta go check Charlie out. Hold on one second. All right, for those of you guys who don't know Charlie Marie TV, she is a design director, I believe, of ConvertKit. And she does some great work, and she's really, really an awesome human being. So we're gonna raid Charlie today. Oh, she's working in Webflow as well. So she says, let's make this sucker responsive. Webflow building co-working stream. Nice. All right, so get ready for a raid. I'll go ahead and set it up before I say goodbye. For those of you guys who are joining on YouTube, you can't participate in a raid. That's going to be on Twitch, but I highly recommend joining on Twitch next time. Yeah. Then go to show your work. The guy made a clip of you. Okay, I will. I will for sure. All right. Who's ready to raid Charlie? Come on, 23. There's 32 of you on Twitch. Let's get all 32. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till I see more viewers ready to raid Charlie Marie. You got to hit a button. That's awesome. All right. Let's make it happen. All right. So when you hit Charlie's channel, do me a favor. Show her some love. Give her a follow if you're not followed already. Put some love in the chat. Let's see some emojis. Let's really make this a big deal, okay? All right. You ready to go? Let's go. Here we go. Rating now.
It looks like it's pink. Is it the peach one? Like, is it orange on the back?
With Photoshop.
Because
And
I
in
want that
Final
one.
Cut Pro, you can edit up to 5 streams of 4K footage or 1 stream of 8K footage without dropping a frame.
Should we take bets now on price for this?
3 times faster in apps that leverage M1's 16-core neural engine.
Oh,
So apps
hey!
like Vectornator,
Ben
which can
Burns
swiftly
rating.
turn a photo into vector layers,
We're
gets
taking a
faster
slight break from
content.
Webflow building to
And because iMac has
watch the
same
Apple
chip
event right now.
architecture as iPhone and iPad, you can run iPhone and
Thanks for the raid.
like Headspace and Zillow right on your
Finally,
iMac.
there was a time that I was streaming when you finished.
Or
Because
you can
usually it's the
enjoy
other way
games
around.
like Sky, holding up the wall, while you spread out on iMac and use your keyboard as a game controller. And with
Interesting.
iCloud continuity, it's easier than ever to use iMac and iPhone together.
I am still
Your
building in the
process
background.
comes right to iMac.
I'm just not
So
annotating
no
it
need to switch devices
much.
when you're in the zone.
at the moment.
And that email you started on iPhone, you can use Handoff to finish it.
Is it really going to work though?
Copy text and images on iPhone, and then paste them right into a document on iMac with the magic of Universal Clipboard.
Thanks, Ben.
And
Yeah, I'm
all your
doing well.
Content is always available and up to date across all your Apple devices. You are
Evening
going to
Webflow
love
session.
The combination of M1 and macOS on the new iMac. It's the ultimate Big Sur experience. And we're not done
Nice.
yet. iMac has state-of-the-art connectivity.
I'm in the stage right now of
data and devices. It has
working out
up
the
to 4
breakpoints.
USB-C
There's a
ports,
lot of mess
including
that
2
we're cleaning up.
Thunderbolt ports for super fast data transfer. Support
Yeah,
for
a lot.
6K display, like the Pro Display XDR. And we created a new power connector that connects magnetically, so it's quick and easy to connect. It has a 2-meter color-matched woven cable that leads to a
Oh,
small
that's
power
good that the
adapter,
cable
which
matches.
can be placed on the floor behind your desk. And for Ethernet, check out this cool innovation.
Ooh.
It connects to the adapter and runs through the power cable to keep your desktop less cluttered. Now,
That's nice.
let's take a closer look at iMac's new keyboard, mouse, and trackpad
$12.99, you reckon? No,
You
more
can
than
choose
that.
from 3 types of
I'm betting
keyboards
more than that.
with gorgeous
Surely.
aluminum
Wait, how much
enclosures,
is the MacBook?
color matched to iMac. First, there's a Magic Keyboard with new emoji, spotlight, dictation,
$3.99, you're
and do not
dreaming,
disturb,
John.
and a lock key to instantly lock iMac. Next, there's a Magic Keyboard
$2.99.
with an
Yeah, it's more like
exciting
it.
Touch ID.
Ooh.
Mac desktop for the first time.
Oh, dang it.
Wireless fingerprinting
Am I gonna have to
encryption is made
stop
possible
using the
by a secure processor in the keyboard.
mechanical keyboard?
It communicates directly with the secure enclave in M1, creating an encrypted channel to protect your fingerprints from end to end. So whether you're making a purchase with Apple Pay or unlocking your iMac, it's fast, easy, and secure. And Touch ID also works with fast user switching, so you can change to a different user profile with just the touch of a finger. And there's a Magic Keyboard with Touch ID and a numeric keypad too. Magic Mouse, loved by iMac users, now features color-matched aluminum. And Magic Trackpad, still by
Oh.
far the industry's best, has a refined shape to match the new keyboard. These new accessories complete the system and bring even more capability.
I
to
don't
iMac.
like the rounded corners on the keyboard. It
colorful,
looks a bit too
cutting-edge
rounded to me,
design,
Ben.
Best-in-class
But I
features,
really like the
power
iMac
of
itself.
M1 and macOS Big Sur. The new iMac can do it all.
Thanks for subscribing, Ben.
Dynamically transforming any space into whatever you need it to
Very
be.
kind.
Let's take a look at the many ways iMac can fit into your life.
Say hello
On
to
your
the new
desk.
iMac.
Because it's an iMac, you don't
Never
move it
seen a
around.
computer like this before. Yeah, it's really
No, you
thin,
still can't,
but
Sean.
It's not magic. It's the M1 chip, which is kind of magic. And it makes the new iMac fast. Like, your apps open instantly fast. Like,
They already
check that
discontinued
text
the
while you
iMac
clean your
Pro,
inbox, or
right?
You share that photo while you stream that show fast.
That's fast.
It has a 4.5K Retina display for colors that pop off the screen. A 1080p camera, so you'll look right in any light. And whether you're talking to one person or 100, the mics always focus on your voice, so they hear you, not what's around you.
People should wear headphones
6
when they talk
speakers and
anyway.
Dolby Atmos means everything you do sounds great. Matching keyboard and mouse, and wireless Touch ID. Boom, boom, boom. And what happens on your iPhone also happens on your iMac. That's definitely magic. This is the new iMac. Oh wait, I forgot. It comes in 7 colors.
I wish there was a
With
pink
iMac,
one.
The possibilities are endless. And like all of our products, iMac
As
has
per
been
usual.
built to minimize its impact on the environment. 100% of the virgin wood fiber in iMac's packaging comes from responsibly managed forests. And iMac has 100% recycled rare earth
Oh,
elements.
I'm still live on YouTube.